Because so few people know how to do it right, doing any networking proactively is itself a power move. 70% of people find their next job through networking. A whopping 79% say it's vital to progress in their career. But like with everything else, it's a skill that you learn and a task that you need to do. I ran a business for 10 years and grew to 50 employees and had to do a lot of networking across the industry to succeed. Before that, in the 4 years when I was employed, my salary rose rapidly, in part thanks to my networking. In this video, I will teach you 5 power moves that are easy, but that most people don't know about, and which took me years or even decades to figure out. I'll also explain why I've got this cute piggy bank. But first, to really understand workplace networking, I need to tell you about my friend Ryan, who wanted to date models and how he actually made it happen. Now, you might think, like I did, that Ryan was just deluded. How can you just decide to date models? You'd have to be unbelievably lucky. Models tend to be unavailable and they're hard to find. A bit like the people you might want to network with. But here's where Ryan was a bit of a genius. He found a coffee shop that was right across from a modeling agency, and he spent his mornings there reading books. Of course, a lot of models walked in every day to buy coffee, and that gave Ryan a lot of chances to find himself in spontaneous, genuine conversations with these models. Eventually, some of those turned into dates. In some cases, luck is something you can manufacture. And the same is true when networking. If you want to get lucky and meet the right people to advance your career, you have to figure out where they hang out and go there and have conversations with them. In the case of networking, that could be meetups, work events, online chat rooms, anything. Whoever you want to network with, find out where they hang out and go there. That's power move number 1. But once you're in the right place with the right people, who do you speak to? And what do you say to them? We'll talk about this next because that can be really hard, especially if, like me, you're not actually great with people. See, when I first got started, I hated networking. I'm neurodivergent with a mix of ADHD and ASD that makes me really sensitive to rejection and easily overwhelmed by too much conversation. Not the best mix for networking. Now, by contrast, my business partner Paulina is a natural at this stuff. When we went together to networking events, within a couple of hours, she'd speak to everyone in the room. From that point on, when I introduced myself, people would say, "Oh, you're with Paulina." But I still did a decent job even when I went by myself, and here's how. In every event you turn up to, most people there probably won't make a big difference to you, but a few people might really move the needle if you get to know them. You want to quickly identify the valuable few and focus on them. The way I would do it, that I actually learned from Paulina, is really simple. Scan the room and ask yourself, who are the people I really should be talking to? Sometimes you'll know in advance because you've seen their photo before and you know they'll be good for you. Sometimes they might just have given a talk and you get that sense of wanting to talk to them. And sometimes you just get a funny feeling that this person here is the one that I should be talking to. Trust that feeling. Try it, you'll see. If you have just 5 good conversations with people who are relevant to you, that's a great use of a networking event. So just do this 5 times and then pat yourself on the back, have a drink, take a break, whatever you need. You've done a good job. That's power move number 2. But once you're talking to them, what do you say? How do you actually build a relationship, whatever that is? Well, for this, I'm going to need this radio aerial. See, there's a radio station that everyone tunes into, and I'm trying to catch it. Can't quite get it. Ah, there it is. Welcome to WII.FM. The radio station everyone loves to listen to. WII.FM stands for What's in it for me. And if you want to do literally anything with anyone, you're going to have to tune in to this. To their station, that is, not yours. You're probably already tuned into that. Whenever you talk to someone and you want to build a relationship with them, always be thinking about what they're getting out of the conversation. What do they need? How can you help them? This applies with every kind of networking, whether it's for a business you're trying to start or for your own career within your company or dating models. Get into the mindset every time you speak to someone of figuring out what you can do for them. And then, of course, as much as you can, do help them. And they'll love you for it because everyone loves getting help. And that's power move number 3. What if you don't know what you can do for them though? You're at a work event, you bump into the head of the department, you're a lowly junior customer support agent. What could you possibly do for them? Well, this is going to blow your mind, but here's what you should do if you don't know. This is a secret technique. Ask. I don't mean just ask them, what can I do for you? Though that's not a bad question at the right time. I mean, ask them about themselves. If you don't know where their problems are, ask them about themselves until you do figure it out. So if you're talking to the head of the department, you might ask them what are the big priorities for the department, or what are the big obstacles they're facing. If you're talking to someone from another company, you might ask them about what are the best or worst parts of their job at the moment. The key is to get interested in them. Find out what's going on. That's the only way you can figure out how to help them, which is the essence of all networking. And that's power move number 4. And finally, now I can explain the piggy bank and the 4-to-1 rule. If someone you don't know very well comes around to your home and asks you to help them write an email to the car insurance company, you probably won't be overly inclined to help them. But what if first they bring the shopping for the next 3 days with them, then they put it all in the fridge for you, then they bake you a nice cake, then they bring you a slice of the still warm cake with an ice cream scoop on the side, and then they say, "Can I tell you something? I'm really struggling with writing this letter. I know this is the sort of stuff you can do in your sleep. Could you take a look?" Truth is, you might have offered to help them long before the 4th coin. But after they've been so nice to you, you'll probably be willing to lend them a hand too. Reciprocity is wired into most of us humans biologically, to the point where this could even be manipulative if you abuse it. But if you're doing it out of a genuine desire to build relationships, it's fine. This is known as the 4-to-1 rule, also known as give, ask. Find 4 ways to help someone before you ask them for help in return. It can be trivial help, a piece of information they didn't have, an intro to this person you just spoke to yesterday, or even just getting them a drink. By the time you've helped them for the 4th time, chances are they'll already be asking you if there's something you need. Now, if you've listened this far, you've already received 5 coins from me. So maybe you could like and subscribe. I'll give you a free bonus tip in exchange. The best networkers do one more thing really well. They follow up speedily and thoroughly. Don't have 5 great conversations and then forget them for a week. There's one situation though where you really need to instantly build a great relationship, and so you have to apply your best networking skills from a standing start. And that's job interview. Now, I interviewed over 1,000 people when I ran my business, and I found that 96% of people tended to fail this right out of the gate. But there are some really simple things you can do to make even that really tricky networking situation work for you. Check out this video to find out more about how to introduce yourself in an interview setting and boost your chances of getting hired. I hope you find joy and meaning at work, as everyone deserves to.